Ukrainian intelligence operatives struck a Russian air defense unit in the Krasnodar Territory on August the 8th, killing at least 12 soldiers and wounding dozens more. Ukrainian media outlet Babel reported the information. According to Babel sources, fighters of Ukraine's defense intelligence, HUR, carried out a successful operation against a Russian Anti-Aircraft Missile Brigade stationed in the Krasnodar Territory. The strike occurred in the village of Afipsky, targeting the military unit of the 90th Anti-Aircraft Missile Brigade of the Russian Air Defense Forces. 2 explosions were reported near the checkpoint of the facility. As a result, at least 12 Russian servicemen were killed, with dozens more wounded. Military equipment at the site was also destroyed. Local special services quickly sealed off the area and imposed a so-called anti-terrorist operation regime. Witnesses observed a large number of ambulances and emergency vehicles on the scene to conceal the true nature of the attack. Russian sources began circulating a narrative on social media claiming the explosions were caused by faulty vehicle equipment. Babel sources emphasized that the targeted brigade had previously been involved in military operations against Ukrainian forces in the Kherson and Zaporizhzhia directions. Afipsky is a settlement in Russia's Krasnodar region, located about 500 kilometers from Ukraine and roughly 1,200 kilometers south of Moscow. In the media space, a version appeared claiming the explosions were allegedly caused by a vehicle's faulty gas cylinder equipment, while the FSB is working to remove mentions of the incident from the news and social networks. Furthermore, Ukrainian drones successfully struck and damaged the Afipsky oil refinery in southwestern Russia. As a result of the drone strike, a fire broke out at a technical unit for processing gas and gas condensate. The General Staff of Ukraine's armed forces said the refinery, located roughly 200 kilometers from the front line, serves as a strategic logistics hub for diesel fuel and aviation kerosene used by Russian troops. The refinery is also key to Russia's economic might, processing 6.25 million tons of oil annually, or 2.1% of Russia's entire oil refining output, the General Staff said. The refinery has been targeted multiple times since the start of Russia's full-scale invasion. Since the spring of this year, the Russians have started launching enemy drones to a height of 2,000 to 3,000 meters, which has made it much more difficult to shoot them down from the ground using anti-aircraft guns or machine guns. Therefore, helicopters and Yak-52s have started to be used to shoot down the Shaheds, Army Aviation Commander Pavel Badakov told the Commander-in-Chief. The equipment may be old, but it is well maintained and in working order. The guys are squeezing the maximum out of the old machines. Even in such a simple way, we do a lot of work, the pilot said. It is stated that when there is a limited resource, then any weapon is good. However, as it turned out, the Yak-52 is the cheapest means against the Shaheds compared to other vehicles, airplanes and attack helicopters. The main combat force of the Army Aviation is helicopters, which have recently been hunting for Shaheds not only in the combat zone, but also in the deep rear. Helicopter units have been formed in Ukraine, sharpened to neutralize Russian attack UAVs, which are currently operating throughout the territory. It is indicated that they work in cooperation with the Air Force, Air Defense and mobile fire groups. Of course, we need to update our aircraft fleet. New Western-style helicopters will provide better maneuverability and greater speed, which is critically important today. This will significantly increase the effectiveness of hitting air targets, given that their speed is also growing, Badakov states. He added that modern attack helicopters and light aircraft are high-tech, complex technology but our guys would quickly master them, just as Air Force pilots mastered the F-16 in their time. Earlier, aviation expert Valery Romanenko said that Russian occupiers have started using Shaheds with anti-tank mines. According to him, they are more dangerous for drivers on dirt roads and for residents of populated areas. At the same time, Romanenko predicts that Shaheds with mines will not become a mass phenomenon, but the enemy will use them for local tasks. The Russians have set some kind of task for this. Apparently, they want to block some roads. This mine is small, 8 by 8 by 33 centimeters, a kind of rectangle, he said. The expert explained, if you drop such a mine on a dirt road, it will be covered with dust, and the driver in the car may not see this explosive device. Therefore, according to the expert, the enemy's use of such mines is probably an attempt to interrupt the logistics of the Ukrainian armed forces or blow up a certain car. Romanenko explains that the charge in the mine is small, 1.8 kilograms of explosives. In the town of Krasnodar, in the Saratov region of Russia, FPV drones that carry explosives were launched from a car that looks like a house on wheels. Focus writes, Russians are asked to fix such cases in other regions and report them to federal law enforcement agencies, Russian telegram channels wrote. Krasnodar, Saratov region, report FPV launches from a car as June the 1st on airfields. Observe precautions, the message said. Subsequently, similar warnings appeared also for residents of Rostov and Volgograd regions, and then for all rear regions to the east and northeast of the Rostov region. In case of fixation, urgently report 112/102. Specify make, model, color, registration, number, exact location. Demand from Russians living in these regions. Later in Russian publics, there was information that the launch of FPV drones took place from a vehicle that looks like a house on wheels, a dark-colored Toyota based on a truck or SUV, a house on wheels with a superstructure over the cabin. There are solar panels on the roof of the van. Russian telegram feeds said in a description the license plate was allegedly stolen from another vehicle. Russian telegram channels reported a danger regarding FPV/UAV launches in Krasnodar. At the time of publication of the material, neither local authorities nor the Ukrainian side commented on the reports of FPV drone launches from a car. Recall Ukraine's Operation Spider's Web will undoubtedly enter the history books as one of the most remarkable and best executed covert operations of the war, with potential consequences for warfare far beyond the current conflict. According to Ukrainian intelligence, which released information about the June 1st operation, Ukraine used 117 drones to strike several air bases deep within Russia. Ukraine says it damaged or destroyed 41 planes, including bombers that carry strategic cruise missiles. The drones, which were transported close to the bases hidden in the back of trucks and operated remotely, were reportedly able to inflict damage of up to $70 billion at a fraction of the cost. The operation showed that Kiev did in fact hold some of the cards ahead of proposed negotiations in Istanbul, temporarily stunned the Kremlin into silence and dealt a blow to Russia's capacity to launch lethal missile strikes against Ukraine. It also suffered a glimpse into the future of warfare, transformed by access to cheap, widely available technology such as small drones, in which anything, anywhere can become a target. While NATO figures will likely have been impressed by Spider's Web's success, the operation's effectiveness also raises urgent questions about the alliance's own readiness for a future shaped by similar attacks.